Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Today we have a special treat. We do this a few times a year. We have a residential experience panel. I'm Allison Scarborough, Consolidated Planning Group. Maybe you've joined and attended some of our webinars in the past. If you have, we are certainly glad that you have. If you're joining us for the first time, I can assure you, you are in for a treat today. We have 13 presenters today. They all represent various residential living communities across the state. So today's format and how this is going to go, I always liken it to a speed dating thing. So each one of these residential communities, they have a representative here. And they're going to come on and they're going to tell us who, what, where, when, why, how much, if they take waivers, if they have summer camps, or any other day programs. They're going to talk about that. So they are only going to talk for about 3.5 to 4 minutes each. And this webinar is not designed for you to take a deep dive on each one of these communities today, but it is for you to take notes of the communities. You're going to hear from 13 communities today and take notes of the ones that might be a good fit for your loved one, and then take a deeper dive on their website, reach out to them personally, schedule a tour. Basically what our goal is today and what we're doing. So from a housekeeping perspective, we are in webinar mode, which means that we can't see you or hear you, but we know you're there and we are glad that you're here. And we invite you to put your questions in our chat box today if you have any questions. Each one of our presenters will answer questions following their presentation. So if you have a specific question for a specific residential living community, just say this question is for XYZ. And so that person will answer your question throughout the meeting. We've got some write-in questions. We're going to get to as many questions as we can during the time that we have together. This is being recorded. Everybody is going to get a copy of today's slides and a link to the recording, so you do not have to take notes on every single thing you hear today, because you're going to have the slides at your disposal. So for those of you that are joining for the first time and you're not familiar with Consolidated Planning Group, we are a holistic special needs financial planning firm. We're nationally certified as Social Security advisors, members of the Special Needs Planning Academy, chartered special needs consultants. I am also a parent to 4 adults and 3 with disabilities. We eat, sleep, and breathe this. People come to us because they want to plan for their future of their loved one. They want to know how much money to fund a special need they need to fund a special needs trust. How do they retire and stay retired and still have enough money to fund that trust or other expenses like weddings or college for other kids and things like that. They come to us because they want to know how and when to apply for public benefits. SSI, SSDI, Medicaid, Medicare. They need help with that. So we are here to help people put their, plans in place. We do lifetime care plans, protection plans. We help set up ABLE accounts. We do those future care cost estimates, small, medium, and large, of how much money do we need to plan for the future of our loved one. We always encourage people to plan for the worst and hope for the best, because if we plan effectively and things go great, then we can just retire sooner, or maybe we can take some more of those vacations in retirement or things like that. So we want to help you do that. We think it's very, very important that people understand that state and federal benefits. It is really important. The eligibility for some of these programs really, really matters on the money, and money in the right buckets to preserve that eligibility for those programs. I'm talking about Medicaid, SSI, Medicaid waivers. So I just wanted to make that clear. And then when it comes to planning, we just suggest that you work with a professional that is nuanced with people with disabilities, because not all financial advisors are created equally. The other thing that we want to mention is that we are not the legal team. Okay. I see sometimes advisors suggesting that they're lawyers. We are not lawyers. We don't draft the special needs trust or the wills or do the guardianship. We work very closely with the attorneys. The attorneys don't do what we do. So we do work close together, and we just want to mention that to you. Guys, we have hundreds and hundreds of webinars on our Consolidated Planning Group YouTube channel. So if you want to know about government benefits, our ABLE accounts, our special needs trust, our guardianship, the Medicaid waivers and how to get on the list, that is all on that Consolidated Planning Group YouTube channel. And you'll see that flower. So if you Google that Consolidated Planning Group YouTube, you'll see the little flower, and you can subscribe to that for free. Okay. So one of the things that we talk about before we kind of launch into LTO and Mark Olson is, why is this so important? We all know that one day we're not going to be able to provide the caregiving services that we once did. One day we may need caregiving services ourselves. And so, what we encourage families to do is, don't wait for a crisis. Don't wait for, the death of a parent where we've had a loved one that has been living with that parent all of their adult life, and now that loved one is 60, 65 years old, and then kind of the rug is pulled out from under them. Don't wait to find out that some of these places have long waiting lists. Some of them are 5+ years. And so we just really want to kind of think ahead. I always say we're not behind. We are where we are, and we're here today, and we're looking forward. But having these intentional conversations with residential living communities, finding out what your options are, getting yourself on some of these waiting lists is going to give you more options in the future. And then the last thing that I want to say, and I bring this up every time, there are some families that have a loved one that has some difficult behaviors, or as Mark mentions, unmanageable risk. Okay. So each of these residential living communities will talk about what their unmanageable risks are. And we always just encourage families to be really honest about those on the front end, because they always come out, right? So even if you get in, and we didn't discuss those, they always come out, and it is kind of an upheaval for the family as well as the individual. So talk about those. And here's the biggest thing that I want to say: don't be discouraged and think that there's no place for my loved one. Maybe your loved one has higher care needs or can't do their activities of daily living. We see families that have loved ones that have equipment or other things that are necessary for their lives. There are places. And every single one of the presenters today, they know their markets, they know who they serve, and they may have recommendations for you, of a place that would be a good fit. So even if their place isn't a good fit for you, you might be able to find one through these people, because I think they know people everywhere. Okay. So having said that, Mark, thanks for being here with us, and I'm going to turn it over to you for you to talk to us about LTO Ventures.
Great. Thank you, Allison, for doing these. As you know, I've done several of these with you before, and they are amazing. I'm also thrilled to share the stage today with so many amazing providers. First and foremost, I'm the founder, president, CEO of LTO Ventures. We're based in Bernie, Texas. More importantly, I'm the father of two significantly developmentally disabled adult daughters, so my mission is personal as well as professional. We do two things at LTO Ventures: consulting, and we build residential for ourselves. So the consulting, really quickly, is we do consulting and project management to help nonprofits around the country build their own residential communities. We've been doing it for 16 years. We're on project number 19 across 10 states, and we currently have 2 going in Texas, including our own, and 1 in Milwaukee. So let's get to our project. We're building, or we plan to be building, a mixed-use residential community, and by mixed use, I mean housing and a community enrichment center. We plan it in Bernie or close to Bernie. We mean for it to be for 100 adults with and without IDD or neurodiverse, if you're familiar with the term. 90 to 95% IDD, and then we will recruit intentional neighbors to come live in the community. 4 different housing types: 1, 2, and 3 bedroom small homes, not tiny homes. Those will be for sale properties, and then 2 small apartment buildings, which will be lease buildings for a total of 100. We mean to serve a range of abilities and disabilities. So if you've got a waiver, then it's going to be LON 1, 5, 8, and 6. We don't believe that we'll be able to serve LON 9, and that's very specialized care. We do mean to be a Medicaid eligible site as well as private pay. So we need to be, I'm going to be using the HCS waiver for both of my girls to pay for that. Let's see. We will not be the service provider, but we will contract with service providers to provide those services under our quality assurance and direction. It's just a complicated thing to do, and we want to leave it to the professionals. We mean to be affordable, but I will never use the term affordable housing because that's the kiss of death here in Bernie. We mean for our housing to be affordable, less than market rate, but not free, obviously. Our status is that we are in planning right now. We're in discussions on multiple parcels in and around the Bernie area, and we're in discussions with multiple funders. We are getting going with programming. So our first programming will be sort of what we call programs and outings. But then we will be launching an ISS day program, individualized skills and socialization, either the very end of this year or the first part of next year. Our community enrichment center and our programming will include a life academy, which will look like community college for adults with IDD. That'll be a 2 or 3 year program. And then we mean to take over the 18 plus program from Bernie ISD and run that better than they do now. Let's see what else to cover here. I think I got everything done in 3 minutes and 30. Yeah. I'll shut up and leave time for everybody else.
Great job, Mark. And I switched my microphone. Is there no echo now? Is that better? I'm hoping that is better on your end, that you guys can hear me a little bit better. Okay, so having said that, we've got My Possibilities up. Tell us about My Possibilities.
Thank you very much, Alison. My name's Christopher Clapperton. I'm the Senior Residential Manager at My Possibilities. I am living over here now, as you can tell by my accent. I have a sister, Louise. She has Down syndrome. She lives in the UK, so that's my my education with this demographic started very early. There was a Starbucks napkin written by the founder of My Possibilities, and it has education on there, transport, and residential. So I'd just like to talk very briefly about My Possibilities if you don't know anything about it. So we're based in Plano, in Texas. We have our latest building. It's a university campus style, and we serve 700 hipsters, are hugely important people, and they come here, 700 hipsters every week. And it's broken into 2 halves. We have our Lifelong Learning Center, where there's a varied and broad curriculum. And we have our Innovation Center, where we concentrate on 5 vocational tracks: culinary, facilities, retail, administration, and hospitality. And that's all backed up by a very, very healthy partnership, employment, and volunteer network in and around Texas and the rest of the country. I'm telling you about this day service because I'm going to lead to residential at the end. So the payments, we accept HCS, Texas Home Living, PLAS, ICF, deaf and blind, multiple disability, and private pay. The reimbursement rate is about 1/3 of the actual daily cost. So we make up that difference through fundraising. About over a year ago now, we had a merger with another company called Ability Connection. They're about 70 years old, and they have their own day program, but they also have a residential branch of their business. So they have 4 group homes, which are all occupied currently, and they oversee some host home arrangements as well, and they're based in Irving, in Texas. Now, the reason for that merger was because we are now a service provider. And at the end of this year, we'll have our first group home, which will be launching probably November. That group home is, it's only for 4 individuals, but it's a sign of our intention moving forward. It's going to be in Plano, close to the campus. It's not our first attempt at residential. We've been working on it for 18 years, but this is the first time we've had some traction. And we intend to move forward. All the questions that Alison was asking, and I know that the audience will be thinking, there's gaps in the high level of care, and we intend to get there. So this house, the first house, is going to be female house, HCS, and it's going to be round about the level of need 5. But that is one aspect. We know there's a much higher level of need. We know that there's individuals who are largely independent, who just need to maybe utilize a bit of technology. We are working on these things. So there's lots to come, lots more to come from us. And that is 3 minutes and 30.
I just want to mention a couple of things. And, I always encourage touring. I've had the opportunity to tour a lot of these places, and I'm always so glad that I did. You get to
Mm.
see it, you get to feel it, and my possibilities is pretty cool. Um, for any of the families, so we have families that come to us that say, what if I want to put up the money for a group home, but I don't want to be in charge of running it?
Mhm.
For anybody that's here that has programs or working on programs to partner with families, maybe they already have a home that they could donate, or maybe they want to put up a home or that kind of thing, but they simply just don't want to get involved with all the daily and taking waivers or not taking waivers or billing or providing caregiving. If that's something that is something that your community can do or you have interest in, put that in the chat box because we have people interested in that all the time. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. That's just to go on the back of that, Alison. We've had the first home that we're going to build. That was a donated home, not the home itself, but the money. So we had to put all the mechanisms in place to absorb that donation and be able to turn it into something real. And that'll continue for anyone who's
Perfect.
interested, even doing it by
Perfect.
part.
I,
So
I
thank
think
you.
there's a huge need for this, and I hope
Yes.
that we can come together as a kind of a ground of how do we do this, because all over the state, not just in one area, there's a huge need for that and families that are interested in doing something like that.
I think a lot, oh, sorry.
Uh, Thank you for being here with us today. We've got Dr. Molly Denny. She's going to talk to us about Daymark Living. I've definitely had the pleasure of touring there. Welcome, Dr. Molly, Dr. Denny. Thank you for being here with us. Tell us about Daymark.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I looked at the lineup and I was like, wow, if you could put all these people in one room, I mean, just like I feel blessed to be in all of your presence. So I love hearing about what other communities are doing too. It's so needed and there's room for all of us. I know Mark and I've had that conversation before too, is like there's such a need. So kudos to everyone for what you're doing. Um, like Allison said, I'm Dr. Molly Denny. I've been with Daymark since the very beginning. Really got to be part of kind of the vision part of Daymark, what we wanted it to look like. So I'm going to give y'all a little snippet of what it is, and I set myself a timer, so I'll try to be mindful of the time. Like the slide says, we're located in Waxahachie, Texas, so about 25 miles south of downtown Dallas, just kind of on the way to Waco. So we bought 40 acres. We have developed 20 of those acres. We own the back 20, which is in a floodplain, and we may eventually do something with it. We've kind of talked about maybe some soccer fields that we could open up to the community, which is always needed for communities to have, and then maybe do some kind of animals or something like that in the future. So for now, it's just a floodplain. So what you see there is our cottages. We have 28 cottages, which, well, 28 roofs of what you're looking at, and each of those are duplexes or quadplexes. So there can be two people, three people, or four people in each cottage, and then they share porches which you can see there. We have a beautiful clubhouse and a swimming pool and a fitness center that looks kind of like if you're going to go to college. It has all the workout equipment, and we have a movie room. Some really neat amenities that our residents use a lot. We have a beautiful sports court. And then we have a classroom building, which is where our adult learning happens during the day. So we have a full curriculum that we've really developed over the last 8 years as we've gotten to know our population. We let them also tell us what classes they want to take, and we plan for that. So we've moved to a quarterly system where there's a fall, spring, summer, and winter curriculum, which is really fun. So we try to keep it fresh and keep it moving. And our coaches teach those classes. We also sometimes have outside people come in and teach classes. And then we have a clubhouse, which is where our dining is. So we serve 3 meals a day. We just this year started a day program, and we don't really want to be a day program. That's not our intention because we feel like we do a pretty good job with the residential side of things. But we did have some people that lived here in town that were really interested in coming and being a part of Daymark, and we kind of were like, why not? We'll try it. So we have about 5 that have been coming during the day. So they come after breakfast and stay until about dinner time, do the classes with their friends. It's been really sweet. The goal is for them to eventually move in. That was kind of our pathway. And then we also, this is also kind of new. So this year we gated off part of our community and we're calling it Daymark Dwelling. And it's for those that have a little higher need. We really did it for residents who were already living at Daymark but needed a little extra care, some personal care, some behavioral interventions were needed. Nothing too terribly aggressive, but sometimes just needing a little more attention or a smaller environment helps our guys. So that's been really fun too. Our ratios are a little higher down there, and we currently have 10 residents living in that area. So they have their own classroom, their own amenities, and then they come up and use the main amenities for the Daymark Living side.
15 seconds, Molly.
Okay, thank you. So we are private pay. We don't take any waivers. I wish we could. I would love to, but I just don't think that's for us the way that our community was built. We will continue to be private pay. We currently have 148 residents and 165 is our max. Allison, you're on mute.
Perfect. So no waiting list at this time. Thank you. And I know the community is beautiful, so I definitely encourage people to reach out and take a tour. And if you will make sure to put your contact information in the chat box. And again, for all of our presenters, be monitoring the chat box for any feedback of some of the questions that have been put in there. So Barry, you are certainly not a stranger to us and Down Home Ranch. Barry, we're happy to have you here with us. So tell us about Down Home Ranch.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So the ranch started in '89. We're 410 acres. We're about 40 minutes east of Austin. And we started with camp. This year, we're going to serve pretty close to 300 people with intellectual and developmental disabilities in 6 weeks of summer camp. And every month that we don't have summer camp, we have a weekend respite camp. And in these camps, we provide a lot of flexibility for the caregiver. So if you as a caregiver are feeling apprehensive about your loved one leaving from home, you can come stay local in Elgin or Taylor, about 15 minutes away. We even have some RV sites that are here that you can be close while your loved one just comes to camp for the day. And what we've seen with summer camp is usually Monday, Tuesday, maybe they'll just come for the day programming. And then Wednesday, they'll want to stay overnight. And then Thursday, so then camp really starts. But this is a really great opportunity for transition for your loved one, like looking at what's next. Residential program, we serve 50 people. We have both of the Medicaid residential programs, and we also do private pay. Currently, we have no openings. We have 50 residents, and at this point, we're not looking to expand our residential program. We feel that the work that we've done is really supporting families through respite and through transition of what comes next. Also, we have an online tour that has a webinar that you guys can attend. And my hope there is that we can summarize all things DHR in 45 minutes. It happens most of the time. And then we can do some FAQ. And then also you can sign up to come out to the ranch. And we keep those small. So 10 people come and it's with me and typically our camp director. So we can answer any and all questions. And if we don't know the answer, we'll connect you. So like I said, HCS, ICF, and private pay. Our camp, we have open enrollment. We have capacity to serve 310 people. And as the need grows, we can grow camp. Day program, we've expanded that somewhat, really focusing on the people who are living local in the more rural communities. We have some part-time and some full-time opportunities there. For our private pay, to put it in here, it's $5,100. There's information on our website and our blog, but whenever we do our online webinar, we answer all of those questions. So what I would like to say, to be really clear, is all of these folks who are on this webinar provide great residential support. So even if you're unsure about making that leap into residential, I'd suggest going and visiting, come visit us, but also camp that we provide could be a really good bridge for staying out of the house for the very first time. our camp is American Camp Association. We have a ratio that we run that's 1-4, 1-5, sometimes lower than that. And also it's at the ranch, which is a farmstead, which is literally right across, a 1-lane road to our residential program. So we have lots of capacity and expertise. We'd like to talk real quick that with the 410 acres, we're a farmstead in Texas, which means we have social enterprise. Last year, we had 50,000 plants that the people that work at
30 seconds, Barry.
the people work at the ranch were a part of. We employ 35 people who live at the ranch. We employ a few people that come locally who work in our social enterprise. We do a lot where it funds the mission. So I want to go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate it. I'll drop my information in the chat. Please feel free to text or call, and hopefully I'll see you on a webinar or here in person at the ranch.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Barry. There's a couple of questions in the chat box, and they'll be happy to have your contact information. I've also had the pleasure of touring out there. Down Home Ranch is cool. So, we've got some loved ones that love the outdoors and others not so much. But there's a lot of cool stuff going on over there. So thanks for being here. Again, we appreciate that. And again, just if you're kind of late joining today, everybody's going to get a copy of today's slides and a link to the recording. So if you missed some of the presenters already, don't worry, you're going to get their slides and the recording. So having said that, we are going to hear from the Village Centers, and we're excited that you guys are here with us today.
Hi, everyone. Allison, thank you for having us. I am Tiffany Blakely with the Village Centers. We have been in existence for over 25 years serving the population. So I just want to chat a little bit about what we are currently offering. So we are an HCS and Texas home living provider. We're located in Kingwood, Texas. We are servicing both the Harris and Montgomery County. We also offer a day program for our individuals. In our day program, we accept HCS waiver service, Texas Home Living waiver service, and private pay. We do offer a summer program. It is completely private pay, so waivers are not accepted for the summer program. We also offer transportation to and from our day program. We also offer a vocational program. The vocational program is also available during our summer camp. As stated, we are an HCS and Texas home living provider, so our residential opportunities are available under that HCS umbrella. We do have 5 group homes across the Kingwood and surrounding areas. So 4 of our homes are in Harris County, 1 are in Montgomery County, or 1 is in Montgomery County. We do have 1 vacancy in one of our female homes. Our other residential component would be our shared living and host home companion care support. With that, it's more of a family style setting, but it is up to a 3-to-1 ratio. So again, we are in the Kingwood and surrounding areas. We are looking to expand in more of the Montgomery or greater Montgomery area. We are contracted in both. So that is it with the Village, and I'll be available. I'll put my contact information in the chat for anybody who has questions or would like to arrange a tour with us or would like to learn more about what we do.
Thank you so much, Tiffany, for being here with us and sharing with us about the Village Centers. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having us.
Yes, and again, everybody just keep a check on that chat box for any questions. So next we have LiveOak Living Community. They're going to share with us a little bit about what they've got going on.
Thank you. Do you mind switching the slide over? There we go. All right, yes, my name is Rachel Medina, and I'm the CEO for LiveOak Living Community. LiveOak has been around for 24 years. We started back in 2002. Our owner and founder recently retired, and we switched over to an employee-owned trust, which is very exciting. We're one of only 4 in the state of Texas, and it's been a really interesting journey for us as we've moved beyond our owner-founder. But LiveOak was started due to David's desire to figure out how people with cognitive disabilities could continue to thrive. His background was in brain injury mostly, and he found that people would do really well in acute care, but when they would go back into their communities, they would really struggle with social engagement and involvement, and that could lead to a lot of backsliding in the progress that was made. So we traditionally started in working with people with brain injury, but then saw a lot of these principles really expanded to the IDD world, to the mental health world. So today I would say about a third of our residents have a serious mental illness like schizoaffective disorder. A third have IDD, and a third have traumatic brain injury, and several have dual diagnosis as well. We are located in San Marcos and Martindale, Texas. We have 3 locations. 2 are assisted living communities. Our largest is the Ranch program, and that is out in Martindale, Texas. We're on about 65 acres of land. We have 22 residents currently living on the ranch. We also have a small group home that has about 8 residents. This is becoming kind of our aging in place program. We have a lot of residents who want to stay in their community and do not need nursing care quite yet. So this has offered a way for us to transition them within their community. So they're still with their peers, and they don't need to move on to skilled care quite at this time. We also have an apartment program in downtown San Marcos, and this is independent living. This is great for people who maybe don't need quite as much support as the ranch would offer. We still provide transportation and some basic assistance, a lot of social engagement, things like that, but not everybody needs an assisted living community. So it's great to have an option of a supportive place where people can continue to get care, but don't need the cost associated with assisted living. We are looking at expanding. So we currently are looking into a tiny home community, and we hope to expand to about 7 tiny homes by next year.
This is great information. And do you have openings right now? Oh, you're on mute.
So sorry. Right now I have 1 opening at the ranch, tentative, and I have 2 at our apartments. Other than that, we are full. However, with the tiny homes, I think that we will have openings next year. I think initially we're going to transition residents who are currently living at LiveOak into the tiny homes, and then we would be able to backfill our assisted living. We're seeing that a lot of our residents are coming in at their 30s and 40s and really desire that feeling of having their own home. And I think this is a way that we can offer it to them long term.
Okay.
But my hopes is that we can continue expanding and have even more.
Thank you so much. Any additional questions for her, if you'll put those in the chat box? Thank you so much for being here with us and sharing what your community is doing. We are happy to have John Tay here with us with Noah's House. Tell us what's going on over at Noah's House.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is John Tay Reed, and I am the Executive Director at Noah's House. We provide affordable residential living for adults with mild to moderate IDD who are ready to become more independent while still having the support they need to be successful. We do more than just housing. Each resident has their own private bedroom in the Jack and Jill style suite, sharing only the bathroom with their next door neighbors. They receive 24-hour staff support, employment support, life skills development, transportation, and all-inclusive living experience. And so meals, laundry, utilities, as well as a variety of social and recreational opportunities are provided for them. Our mission is to help our residents build confidence, strengthen their independence, and become self-sufficient as possible. One thing that sets us apart is our emphasis on employment, community involvement, and continued personal growth. We believe in meaningful work, friendships, and daily responsibility, that they're all important parts of living a fulfilling and independent life. Who would be the best candidate for Noah's House residency? It would be individuals who want to become more independent, who enjoy being a part of a community, and who are interested in working or maintaining employment and are motivated to continuing develop life skills. They don't have to know everything already when they get here, but they do have to have the desire to continue growing. For someone to really be a right fit, excuse me, I want to share kind of who would disqualify or who would not be a right fit. I'm sorry. We're not a licensed medical, we don't have a licensed medical staff on site. And so we're not able to support individuals with medically complex needs that require ongoing nursing or clinical oversight. And because we are an independent living community, our residents should be able to complete their own activities of daily living, bathing, dressing, grooming, toileting, and feeding themselves. In addition to that, our residents have to be able to self-administer their own medications and identify medication by its appearance and explain what it is prescribed to treat. Some of our residents are able to independently manage their medication using secure lock boxes in their rooms, while others do receive reminders and have their medication self-administration witnessed by our staff. Our goal is to provide the level of support each resident needs while encouraging as much independence as possible. Residents should also be able to function safely without the need for one-on-one supervision. We're also not able to support unmanaged behavioral challenges that will compromise the safety or well-being of our residents or staff. In addition to that, every resident does have to have a designated support person. It could be a parent, a family member, guardian, or another trusted individual, but this person is responsible with working with our team to coordinate medical appointments, healthcare decisions, assisting with financial oversights and benefit management, as well as being the emergency support person and being available in cases of emergency for important decisions. If an individual does require a higher level of medical, behavioral, personal support, we do try to connect them to individuals who would be a better fit. The one thing that we're
30 seconds, Shante.
Yes,
30 seconds.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you have 30 seconds.
Oh, thank you. We're also proud to be one of our the most affordable private pay residential communities here in Texas. We are only $1,825 per month, and I think that's what sets us aside. If anyone is interested in finding out more information or coming out for a tour, I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for sharing that. I know the thing is we have families that we work with that are at every one of these facilities. Every person that's on here, we've got families out there. So we hear good things. So also there's some questions in the chat box that you want to take a peek at as well. So thanks everybody. Thanks for putting your questions in the chat box. Next up, we have Mission Road. So thanks for being here with us today. Talk to us about Mission Road.
Sure. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us. We are Mission Road Ministries. We've been focusing on potential and not limitations for nearly 80 years here in San Antonio, Texas. We serve over 800 individuals through a continuum of care. Again, one of the few that provide services to children, teens, adults, and into their senior years. Again, we like to say that we are able to offer the right service at the right time for a lifetime of care. Our youngest individual that we serve is 6 years old and our oldest 94. So that just gives you a quick snapshot of the services that we're able to offer for a lifetime. I know we're here to talk about residential services, so I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about that, but also talk a little bit about the continuum that we also offer. For our residential services, we do serve over 100 individuals. We have 6 campus homes on our campus. It's over 20 acres. We have a pool, a walking trail, a gym, and so much more, basketball court, and a chapel. It's a beautiful space. It's very calm and soothing for the individuals that we serve. On our campus, we have also our administrative building. And then we also have 18 homes, residential homes in the neighborhood. So it would be a home next door, your neighbor, which again, it allows us the opportunity to serve additional individuals. So a total of 100 altogether. In our residential services, we provide 24/7 care. So we have a staff that's available to help with basic needs. We also provide nursing support that also helps with any medical issues or concerns as well. One of the other things that we also do is we have really great connections and supports with specialized services. So occupational therapy, speech therapy is needed. We're able to work closely with those specialty providers as well. If they're part of our residential services, we offer our adult day enrichment programs where we serve over 300 individuals in 2 locations. And so this provides an opportunity for our individuals to engage in the community. We provide therapeutic curriculum that is designed by occupational therapists as well. They're learning life skills and so much more. We have clubs that they're able to be a part of. We have a fishing club. We have an art club, dance club. So just lots of engagement and friendships and opportunities for the learning to continue. They also have an opportunity to be a part of our supported employment program. So if the individuals would like to work, find a job, we're able to provide support in helping them do so. So we have a job coach that helps them through that process, through the interviewing, the training aspect, and they follow that individual and mentor them to make sure that they're successful in the employment process as well. One of the things that I like to talk about is our host home and companion care. This is if you are planning ahead. Sometimes it can be a little nerve-wracking, right, to think about residential services, but if families are willing to come to San Antonio, we could provide that host home opportunity where we provide case management and wraparound services. And this allows the family to become comfortable with Mission Road. And when they are ready, they can transition into our residential services. And the same thing for
30 seconds.
Same thing for our summer camp. If we have young individuals, 16, 17 years old, they can come to our camp for 6 weeks and again get to know our staff and our programming, and eventually have an opportunity to transition into our residential services as well.
I love that. So you have a way for people to dip their toe in. I think we got some questions in the chat box that you can answer. And thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing about Mission Road and what you guys, it sounds like you guys got a lot going on over there. So that's pretty exciting. Thank you for that. So next up, no stranger to us. We've certainly met with you in the past. Miss Leslie, tell us about Southwind Fields. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us. I totally agree. I'm always blown away whenever I get to participate in this kind of stuff. So I'm very thankful. And my name is Leslie Bellew. I'm the CEO and founder of Southwind Fields. We are here in San Antonio, Texas. And I am working from home today, so I apologize for my background, not super professional. But we are what you call supportive independence. So we serve adults with the desire and the ability to live somewhat independently within the community with some layer of support. We don't provide 24/7 staff to monitor everything, but we do have 24/7 on-call, 24/7 on-call wellness, everything they would need to live as independently as possible. That is our main goal. So we serve a group of people who kind of fall into the gray area between those who maybe necessitate a group home kind of setting and those who are able to live totally on their own. Our guys are kind of somewhere in the middle. We call them our locals because they're local to the community, just like everybody else. So our locals are in this area where they might be at a higher risk for homelessness, exploitation, that sort of thing, just kind of based on their level of need, disqualifying them from a lot of state services. So that's kind of who we serve. We serve about 100 locals who live in apartment complexes just right down the street from what we call our local society, which is where our day program is, as well as our adult learning programs for our city locals, where our offices are. So anytime you're over there, you'll see our locals walking up and down the street, hanging out with friends, coming to go to class, meet with their advisor, that sort of thing. The advisor does provide financial coaching, helps make sure their bills are paid. If they need help ordering groceries, kind of whatever their needs are is what we're going to do for them. We are heavily community-based, so we have all kinds of clubs and all sorts of things. We are a faith-based organization, so we say that Southwind Fields belongs to God first and our locals second. We have an open door policy. Our locals are absolutely a huge part of everything that we do, making decisions to lead and guide the organization. Our motto is live a life you love. We really, really mean that. We offer a family style sort of means of providing of services. We don't even really use that word around the locals. We're just doing life together and trying to support them and help them to live a joyful, fulfilling life. So we did recently launch an agriculture program in Helotes. This will be also the property that our tiny home community is being built on. We are hoping to build about 150 tiny homes on that property. It's right off of Scenic Loop, if you're familiar with that area. So we are really excited about that. Our agriculture program also will provide kind of our first pilot program into employing our locals within Southwind Fields. So that is a big step for us that we're really excited about. We are low cost private pay. So our city local program is $350 a month. Market value on our services is anywhere between $2,500 and $3,000 a month. But we know that 350 is a stretch for even most of our locals. So we don't want them to be broke. We want them to be able to contribute to their own care, which we think is really important. So $350 a month covers all the services, and then rent, depending on which complex they choose, is anywhere between $500 and $750 a month. So even paying those dues, it's still cheaper than it would be to live completely independently in the community. And then Independence Pursuit is our day program. That's $300 a month. And that is mainly for people who are looking to live independently, but just need more time to build those skills so they can come participate in that day program. The local family farm, like I mentioned, that's our agriculture program. And then we do offer employment services for all of our programs, but also just on the side for people within the community who just need help finding jobs. So I appreciate you.
Thanks so much, Leslie, for being here with us today and sharing this. And this is a very affordable option for families. Not everybody can throw down $500 a month. Many families can, some can't, some rely on the waivers, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. But that's why we want to have these different price points. And we are glad that you guys are doing what you're doing. And the families that we have had connected with you guys have their kids are living their best life, loving their life, as you mentioned. So thank you for that. So we have 4 additional presenters, and next up is Brookside Farms. If you have questions for Leslie, put them in the chat box, and we're going to move on with Brookside Farms.
Hi, Allison. Thank you for having me, and thank you for all the presenters. This has been really awesome to be a part of. Really enjoyed last year's as well, so hopefully we can continue to do it each year. But my name's Ethan Morrison. I'm with a company called Brookside Farm. We're a long-term licensed assisted living facility. We're a type A. We've been around since '97, so we got quite the report when it comes to experience. Brookside Farm provides long-term compassionate residential care. We're a facility, but we're in a home. So it's a really home type feel. We don't want it to feel like a box and a bunch of rooms that all look like each other. We really want it to be a home type atmosphere for everybody. We only have 10 beds. So we're a real small, intimate setting, real high staff to resident ratio. So great care when it comes to each and every resident. We have 24/7 staff support. We do medication management, individualized care plans for each person depending on their diagnoses and what they want from the program. We focus real hard on stability, skill building, and obviously quality of life. And our philosophy is real simple: treat every resident like family, promote community integration, and help adults with special needs thrive. So the community that we care for, they're going to be anywhere from, we advertise 21 and older, but we will care for individuals a little younger than that, 19, 20. But I have residents all the way from 20 years old all the way up to 84. So we are pretty much the highest level of care before you get into skilled nursing. We care for individuals with schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, autism, and as well as traumatic brain injury. And at the moment, I have a resident pretty much in each one of those categories. We accept all gender identities. We currently have 3 openings. I have 2 semi-private rooms and 1 shared room. The pricings are going to obviously dictate upon the individual's needs as well as what rooms they're wanting. I don't know if you can kind of scroll down, Allison, so they can see the pricings, but our monthly pricing starts at $5,000 a month for a shared room, and it goes up to $6,500 for the semi-private rooms. What that includes is going to be 3 nutritious meals a day plus snacks, 24/7 supervision and medication management, personalized care planning, daily, weekly, and monthly programs and recreational activities, obviously case management and appointment scheduling. And then we offer different types of therapy, like group therapy. We have equine therapy that a lot of my residents really enjoy. Some of my residents also do volunteer work. So we really try and implement them into the community as much as possible. Get them outside, get them moving, keep them out in the sunlight as much as possible. We have a pool, we have a basketball hoop. We're located on 2 acres, and it is a gated community, so you guys can feel really nice and safe about your loved one being with us in a gated community. As far as the people that would be a good fit for us, they have to be medically and psychiatrically stable. They have to want to live here. They can't be violent, and they cannot be an elopement risk. So they cannot want to just randomly walk off. Those are usually the really big main criteria as far as us being able to admit them and have them be part of our community. But yeah, that's us. We're Brookside Farm, and
Thank
if you have
you.
any questions, please let me know. And I'll
Thank you,
put all my
Ethan.
information in the chat box. Thank you, Allison.
Perfect. And it's not small that you do take in folks with some of the mental health challenges that you mentioned, because some facilities that it's an unmanageable risk for them. So thanks for sharing that. Next up,
And I do want to say we're private pay only. I'm sorry. I didn't mention.
Okay, private pay only on that. So next up we have Brookside Farms. Thanks for being here. Take it away. We have 3 others after. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
That was me. I think you need to go one more slide, Allison.
I got it for
There's
AIM. Okay, I was gonna say it was like I thought we just did this. Okay, AIM. We've got AIM and then Project Beacon and 29 acres. So AIM, please take it away. Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is Emily Ricketson. I am with AIM, also known as Adults Independent and Motivated. A little bit about us and our mission. We are empowering adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities to live independently, connect meaningfully, and lead purposeful lives. We have been around for a little over 12 years, and a little bit about our community. We call our participants our AIMers. They are living in their own apartments, so rather than separated from the community, we are embedded in a conventional, typical apartment complex. We are in the West Austin area, and our AIMers do have family support with them. So a little bit about how is AIM affordable. AIM, we do not charge fees. Rather, we ask for fundraising support and volunteer time from our families. Again, fundraising support, it's for 2026, it was $3,000 per year. That $3,000 can come from either an upfront payment from families, or it could be give get. So we have different fundraisers throughout the year, such as if anyone's familiar with Amplify Austin and our fun run, if you solicit sponsorships or donations through that event, that would go into your $3,000 cost per year. Volunteer time, our families help out with socials, and the commitment is around 72 hours per year. For expenses, our participants are AIMers. They do incur ordinary expenses such as rent, utilities, food. The rent at our apartment complex that we operate out of, it can go anywhere from maybe $1,300-$1,400 for a 1-bedroom. For a 2-bedroom, if you're splitting the rent with another AIMer, maybe around $700-$800 there. And options, 16 of our 17 of our AIMers work. That's a really big thing for us, for our participants to be doing something out in the community and just contributing to their area. So benefits like SSI, SSDI can work to cover rent options, again, employment. Most of our Aimers have roommates and some family assistant options in there as well. And we can go to the next slide. So a little bit about what we offer. We have a transportation program that takes our participants to and from work. We do a whole bunch of really fun different social activities. This was a recent visit we did to the KXAN tour, the KXAN News Studio. We have a support specialist. She's basically a person that meets one-on-one with our Aimers to help with things like roommate issues, scheduling, how, just different life skills that they're needing some help with. We have different clubs. We have cooking club. We had board game clubs. We do recreation. Every Sunday, our Aimers are in a nearby sports facility learning every single sport imaginable. And we also have some Special Olympics basketball teams, and we're opening up a bocce ball team this year. And we do independent skills programming. We are also opening up for the very first time this year our first community apartment, which will serve as an office, but also a space where outside community members can practice. We're going to have a mock apartment for things like practice independent living skills and cooking classes. And I just saw a comment location. We are in the West Austin area. For wait lists, we do not have a wait list right now. We have a process where families get to learn about our program over a few months, get to know current Aimers, current AIM families. And so that process is a little bit, but no wait list. And I think that is it.
Thank you so much, Emily. Thanks for going through that, and please put your contact in the chat box for us. Next up, we have Project Beacon. Thank you for being here with us today. And then we have one more after Project Beacon, so we might go just a tiny 2 or 3 minutes over. So take it away, please.
Thanks, Allison. It's really great to be here. My name is Kelly Bowman. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Project Beacon. I'm also the parent of a young adult with autism and an intellectual disability. I was one of the parents that left a corporate career to help change the landscape of options for our young adults with autism and other neurodiversities. Right now, we're serving in our Beacon Access Center, but I'll tell you about residential. We're currently in the design phase, and our vision is to create a neuro-inclusive residential community. Our capital campaign is planned to begin in 2027, and of course, construction and completion dates will be dependent on the rate and pace of a successful capital raise. We are currently seeking land grants within Montgomery County to address the growing need for stable, supportive housing options for adults with autism and intellectual and developmental disabilities and other neurodiversities. Our vision centers on creating a place where adults can experience independence, belonging, and long-term security while receiving the level of support that best matches their needs. The community is designed to serve adults with a broad spectrum of support needs, recognizing that no two residents share identical goals, capabilities, or service needs. We're currently serving our community at our Beacon Access Center located at Oak Ridge North, that is just across the interstate from the Woodlands Town Center. We do use a behavioral model that includes behavioral expertise, including a program that is 100% run by board certified behavior analysts, and our direct support provision is provided by registered behavior therapists. So we are focused on the autism diagnosis, but we're not disability exclusive. Our housing options, they're expected to include both apartments and townhomes with choices for private living as well as shared arrangements. We want to allow the residents and the families to select the environment that best supports their quality of life. We also seek to be a consumer-controlled setting, so that means we will be an HCS waiver-eligible setting, as well as private pay. Our initial proposed development is envisioned to contain approximately 40 to 60 homes and have a community concept that will include some shared amenities, support resources, transportation, a big factor here in Montgomery County, as I know it is in most of Texas, other community gathering spaces and outdoor environments that just foster that health and engagement and social connection. We do not currently have a waiting or interest list established, but expectations are that we will create one in the future. So I'd ask everybody on the call to just follow us at our website, which I realized I did not put on my slide, but the website is projectbeacontx.org, and then we're also on most standard social media channels. Thanks, Allison. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, and please do put your contact information in that website in the chat box again so people can grab it. Thank you for being here and sharing with us about Project Beacon. And so we have 29 acres as our last presenter of their residential community today. So having said that, Allie, we're glad you're here. Share with us about 29 acres.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I'll go real quick since we're kind of at the end of our time. But 29 acres is basically a umbrella, but we are supposed to be an evidence-based approach in the housing design and individual support. And our main focus is just helping individuals in the neurodevelopmental community. We do primarily work with autism within our living community spaces and kind of our 5 different programs that we have. So we have a living community, which is in Dallas, in Denton, Texas, about 30 minutes north of Dallas. We have over 46 acres of land. We have only developed on the first 9. We will be pursuing developing the rest of the acreage, probably the next 16, hopefully the next year or 2. We're kind of figuring out what the community needs from us. But we've been open for 6 years now, and we've opened up 10 houses. We currently do have a full living community here. We have 45 residents. We do have an active wait list, so you are always able to do it. And I do always encourage families as well to be on it because we don't go by like 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes by who's going to be a best fit for the house as in this need of supportive services, but also personalities. We want our friends to all get along and everything. We also have a day program in Dallas, Texas. It is 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. A lot of our guys have kind of come up from that program over the years. In any of our programs, we're able to help support the full spectrum. We do support clients with profound autism. We also have some individuals who are pretty independent and know what they're doing, but they kind of want to have a sense of safety in their house and kind of live with others and like-minded individuals. We also have our Transition Academy program, which is a 2-year program in Denton, Texas as well. It is in partnership with TWU. And basically it's just to help our individuals, maintain and figure out how to do all their ADLs on their own, how to maintain money, how to have financial literacy, how to have a job, how do you have social cues, like all those different things we kind of help them out with so they can be as independent as possible. And then our employment services, I know is a big talk. We are providers of Texas Workforce Commission. We also do private pay with them as well. But that's within any of our programs. You are able to use our employment team. We use it for job coaching, job placement, and also it can be continuous or as short as you would like it to be as well. And then we're opening up an ice cream shop. We are buying into the Howdy homemade ice cream. They're literally right next door to me making ice cream right now. But we will be opening that store up in Denton, where we will also be employing our heroes is what we are calling them. And they are our individuals who are in the neurodiverse community who need to find employment, and we want to help them with that. We do accept at my living community the HCS waiver, Texas Home Living waiver, and class waiver as well. But we do primarily have private pay housing options just because that is a little bit more fluid on that side and everything. So if y'all ever have any questions, want to come out to tours, want to see everything, my email and website is on there. We do tours monthly as well.
All right, Allie, thank you. Thank you for sharing that information with us. And I know I saw that you put your information in the chat box. Guys, we're out of time for today. Everybody is going to get a copy of today's slides, a link to the recording. When you get that, you're going to have a thing that you can click on for any upcoming webinars that you want to register for. Our QR code to schedule your free personalized consultation with us. All of the presenters here, I would just like to personally thank. They don't work for us. We don't work for them. They don't all work with each other. Well, kind of quasi they do, but they're all different organizations serving the community of special needs. And we're glad that they're here in the services that they are providing. And I'd like to thank each of you for coming here and sharing your time and sharing your community with us. It gives us options that might be available now or in the future, and to be thinking about those things. So having said that, thanks everyone for being here today. Check your email. When you register for the Consolidated Planning Group webinars, it'll say, do you want communication? If you say no, You will not get a copy of the slides and a link to the recording. We will respect your wishes on that. If you say yes, then you'll get the recording and the slides. So if you're wondering if you didn't get the slides, that's a possibility. And we also tell people to check their spam as well. Thanks, everyone. This was awesome. I hope everybody has